G'day, that safety guy here. Uh, Today we're going to talk about weekend work. I was a little confused this weekend. Being the long weekend up here, it was Easter. So Friday was off. Saturday was pretty much a dead day. And the guys are still working. So in my own neighborhood, I saw a couple guys, actually I saw three guys installing eavesdropping. And they were hanging off the roof. They're standing on the roof. It was a flat roof. It was a walkout balcony. And instead of having a harness and a lanyard and an anchor point, they were actually hanging onto the fence that was anchored to the flat roof. And it was probably a 15, 20-foot drop to the driveway. Because it's Saturday work doesn't mean that safety takes a break. Because it's Saturday work doesn't mean that you can take shortcuts. I actually asked them, because I'm just curious that way, do they even have working in heights? Do they have that program? Do they have that training? And he basically told me to go get stuffed and we don't need it. So I had to, I educated him a little bit, just said anybody working in Ontario has to have this course. And if you had this course, then you probably know better that you need to have your harness on. You need to be tied off. You need to be in some sort of fall protection or travel restraint. And then Saturday, working for the city, building a self-standing scaffold in a park, in a public park, I was astonished, confused to witness the guys erecting this scaffold platform, for lack of a better way to put it, with the forks raised, probably 15 feet in the air, loaded with scaffold parts. The operator of that forklift was nowhere to be seen. He was not in the seat, which is required by manufacturer and by most legislation, if not all legislation across North America, and just common sense. The worker that was up actually offloading, taking the parts off of the raised forks, broke the guardrail and had a harness on, but wasn't anchored to anything as he's lifting stuff off. And they're, like I said, 15, 20 feet off the ground. However, the worker behind him on the stairs going up, surrounded by a guardrail and handrails, was tied off. Again, Saturday work. Safety doesn't take a holiday on Saturday and Sunday, on long weekends. The Grim Reaper doesn't take days off. Why would you take that chance? Treat weekend work just like Monday to Friday work. Assume that a government official could be driving by. Assume an enforcement officer from OSHA or in Ontario, the Ministry of Labour, or any other provincial or state legislated enforcement could be kicking around, even on a long weekend. And on top of that, you're more likely to get hurt on a weekend, and you'll probably be worse off because there's no one around to help you because everybody is off. So treat weekend work just like Monday to Friday work. Guys that are doing eavesdrops and sighting and things like that on weekends and one-of companies, you're still liable. You are still required by law to work safely. And on top of that, if you're working, you're actually putting the homeowner in jeopardy as well. There's a good chance that if you fall and get hurt, the government could come after them as well because they become a constructor. All right. So treat it like it's every day. Saturday, Sunday, long weekends. Safety doesn't take a break. The Grim Reaper doesn't take a break, and you won't bounce any higher.